Hey everybody, what's going on? Space Cowboy here. Early morning video for you guys here. Cleaning the jerseys in the backdrop, so if you're wondering what's going on back there, so bear with me. Uh, I wanted to talk about where I'm feeling about this Cowboys team. Well, I had some things fresh on my mind, but more importantly, to kind of have a retrospective of what happened on Sunday. I was not happy, and I still am not. I want to make that clear. Uh, but I had some things that popped into my head as I was kind of looking back at the game, rewatching it, and kind of getting a sense of what's going on. So I want to first establish something. Dallas is 11-5. They have won the NFC East. They will get a playoff game at home, which is cool. You know, that's good. You're in the tournament. And I'll get to that in a moment. But the reason I bring that up firsthand is that, I look everywhere and, I'm seeing, I just, and sometimes I get it myself, but like, people thinking that this team is 5-11. And last time I checked, we're not. If you were to erase my memory for how the season went, and you just sent me videos or videos of messages or whatever of what's been going on Cowboys Twitter and in many forums, you would assume that the Cowboys are like 6-10 right now, or like 4-12. Now, I'm not trying to excuse the fact that Dallas has had its moments this season. Most definitely, Dallas has had games they should have won. But I'm not going to sit here and kind of take back with what happened this season. Think about it. Going into this season, a lot of people were like, what are we going to get from this defense? It's going to be the make or break point. We know what we're getting from the offense. Cowboys offense has showed up primarily for the good chunk of the season. There are moments where they sputtered, and it even happened this last week and even in the past couple weeks. But they have had good moments. It's this defense that has been the bright spot. We have plenty of young players to build around. And I think that is something that a lot of people forgot, was that, hey, we have a cornerback that's a ball hawk that many people have been like, we need someone to be a ball hawk. And then you got a guy on the other side of, in that linebacker defensive end core that's wreaking havoc that we haven't seen a rookie do in ages. And I'm supposed to, not saying anyone here is telling me, but for me, I'm supposed to be upset with the fact that we're coming off a 6-10 season the year prior. Here we sit at 11-5 with a chance to get our 12th win for the first time since 2014. And I'm supposed to be upset by that? No. And again, I had higher expectations for this team, the way that they were playing, and, I suckered myself into that. But to go back before the season, you could check the receipts. I said Dallas was going to be 12-5. And if they win against Philadelphia, which they probably will, especially with what's going on in Philadelphia with the virus outbreak, I think that Dallas will finish the year 12-5. Now, I do think they're going to play in the wild card game against Arizona again. And I want us to realize that when I put that video out before the season began, I said that, look, it's going to come down to how Dallas plays defensively. And, if things go their way, Dallas will enjoy a winning season, which they are. I would rather be dealing with the stuff this season than last season. Last season was a lost season, people. And, you mean to tell me that we're going to kick everyone's ass, Now, I'm not scared of teams. What I'm worried about is Dallas not doing their part. That's the thing I'm more concerned about. But yeah, like I'm not upset with where we're at because they're meeting my expectations as a fan that I laid out before the beginning of the season. I still feel that way. Sure, I got real upset on Sunday, which I still am. I still am with some regards. But to kind of analyze that game, I think that, look, the way, and it sucks when it's a close game because you get your emotions a lot higher because it's like, oh man, you really wish you won that game. If it wasn't for the fact that, that we made all those mistakes. And this is the point I'm trying to get at. I understand offensive play calling has been crap in this stretch of games. And Kellen Moore has shown moments of brilliance, but also moments where he's gone into a shell. Similar to that of Scott Linehan and, the shades of Jason Garrett's administration, which I think we need to move on from him. But that's besides the point. So I hope his interview goes well with Jacksonville. So, but, you look at your players. You had Dak Prescott playing at an MVP level, and ever since week 6, he's been playing very pedestrian. Well, let me take that back. He's been playing above average to average in some instances. Really, the only games that I felt like he played piss poor were the Washington game, the first Washington game, and the Denver game. Other games he's played to decent to MVP caliber. Now, I'm not going to come on here and say that we need to replace him because I think that would be foolish, especially with where we're at right now. You got a guy that threw 32 touchdowns currently, and he's putting up his best season, statistically speaking. This is going to be his best season and most efficient season at that, too. And you mean to tell me we need to replace that guy? Because please point to what we could do to do that. And also, I'm not willing to wait for a rookie to develop when I already got a guy and I could just tinker a couple things around, which I think Dallas is more what they more so need to do. You look at the running backs, and I don't think it's particularly the fault of them to their own. I understand that, Zeke doesn't have this, same burst he had earlier in his career. But I think it's also an attributing to how the run game is designed. And we can point to defensive coordinators, making Dak change the play to pass plays and stuff. Like, we could get into all that, which is a fair point. But at the same time, when they ever run, the run game does not look as effective. There are games where, Kellen Moore just, is doing all this crazy stuff, and you're like, where was this? And then it goes away. So to kind of come back and to get back to where we're at here. Dallas is going to be playing a wild card game, probably as the NFC's 4th seed, and probably against Arizona. I could be wrong, and it could be the Rams. But regardless of who they're playing, I feel Dallas will, I feel like they'll win a wild card game. I'm not saying they're doing anything else, and you might be saying, Space, are you crazy for saying that? Especially with what we did. And you might be saying, even my past will be like, but hear me out. When I went back and watched that game, a lot of it was Dallas shooting themselves in the foot. Now, I don't expect Dallas to do it on the level that we saw it against Arizona. I don't think you're going to have 3 straight drives killed by a holding call or some other nonsense that, whether it be a bad call or a real call that, we shouldn't be doing that. But when you think about it, if Dallas doesn't have those, all these calls where they're getting called back, Dallas probably wins this game. And for it to end the way it did is still a sour taste. But again, 2 weeks from now, and if you were to tell me, Space, or put a gun to my head and be like, who would you take in a rematch? I'd probably go with the Cowboys. I think that for the Cowboys to get a loss now, I feel like it gets them a sense of like, okay, you know what? I would be a little bit more concerned if we were coming into this game on a win streak. I don't like playing the same team twice in the playoffs. And what I mean by that is that I don't like, unless we lose, I'm not, because it's usually with the NFL and how it works is if you beat a team in the regular season, odds are they're going to probably beat you in the postseason if you meet again. I usually feel that. Um, and again, Dallas is still a playoff team. I do think they can win a playoff game. Listen, this is going to be a loaded NFC with tons of good playoff games. I think Dallas will now. If we want to talk about other teams, like if you're going on the road to Lambeau, we're having a different conversation, my friend. I would say that if Dallas and Green Bay were to play right now, I would take Green Bay to win, and you could call me a fake fan all you want, but I'm just being real about my team. I do think that the Dallas Cowboys are a team that can win a playoff game. Now, if they do win a playoff game, they would have reached my expectations. Get to the playoffs, win a playoff game, and getting back to what I wanted to get to. When you get to the playoffs, what you did in the regular season doesn't matter. It's just an indication of what that team can do. For all we know, with this loss, Dallas could go one of two ways. They can, maybe they just don't fix anything. They go into that wildcard game and just piss it away. Another situation is they learn from it. They play better, or rather more clean, and they win the game. And they maybe win another game if they're lucky. This could go one of two ways. Because the reason, and I say this in the sense of, from what we get, and many people say this, is, listen, when you get to the playoffs, records don't matter. And, sure, you are what your record says you are, but when the playoffs start, you throw all that out the window because it's a tournament. Anything can happen in a tournament. So that's why I kind of feel, look, Dallas is a good team. Oh, but they haven't beat anybody. But, people want to say, we haven't beaten teams above 500. Look at the Chargers. Look at the Patriots. And if you want to throw in the Eagles for the fact that they're in the playoffs, Dallas has beaten quality opponents. And, they weren't the same Eagles team. And I would agree there. But... if you want to pull out, they beat all these sub 500 teams. Well, you got to say, they beat all these other teams. You look at the Chiefs, and this is another thing, and I said this, I looked at the Chiefs and how they played. They were up against Cincinnati. And I didn't get a chance to say this in my post game, but I wanted to say it here. I was talking to a friend of mine, and I said, what would have happened if Dallas had the same situation happen in that Kansas City Bengals game? They were up, and they lose that game. What would the reaction be? You probably know what I'm getting at. Yeah, people would be like, what the hell's going on? The Cowboys are choking again. Listen, they're not going to please everybody. But from my heart, where I feel where this team is, they're a solid, good team that can win you that can win a playoff game. Maybe two if they're really, really lucky. But I just think your kicker is going to cost you a game. I think that, the officiating, with how bad it's been for across the entire NFL, and I've talked about it, it's been so bad. Not just for the Cowboys, but everywhere else. I think you're going to have that issue, and then you have the virus situation. That could cost you a game too. That is still a thing. You could end up having a situation where someone important gets sick, and you're going to end up having to play a playoff game. So, and think about it. And I said this, I don't know if I still have it on Twitter, but I know I definitely said this. The whole situation with COVID is going to cost a team a playoff game. It's going to happen. Now, what I want us to be prepared for, whether it be us or the opponent we go up against, this is what I feel like could happen. And just hear me out. I don't think this is going to happen. But, this could happen. If we were to get past the wild card, if we're lucky. If things go our way and we play good football and we get to Lambeau. And let's say a good chunk of players are out, or the more key players are out, and you win because of that. You know what's going to happen? People are going to delegitimize our win. It's going to happen. And regardless of who wins the championship this year, I can see someone pulling out the COVID bowl stuff. Oh, well, but so-and-so was out with COVID. It's funny because even though the NFL changed their policies, I mean, I don't want to go on forever because I've reached 15 minutes. But to kind of wrap up, look, The Dallas Cowboys have problems. Absolutely. This team had, I wasn't expecting this team to go 17-0. I was expecting this team to lose some games, which they did. I didn't, sure, there were things that happened in this game that I was upset with, and I still am, but I don't want it to let us feel bad for where we're at right now. We're back in the playoffs for the first time in a while, and Jesus, since 2018, and kind of go back to that year. Remember we had, we were playing the Colts. People thought we beat the Colts. And we got shut out. And I remember people were saying, oh no, I don't know, the Cowboys could end up doing something. Like, I heard all the talk. And, we're going to play our guys in this week. And I have a good feeling that Dallas will be fine. And for those that ask, well, Space, what happens if we lose? Stuff happens, man. I had to kind of think it over, because for me, and I'm going to be opening up, I have really bad anxiety. And, you say, why are you a fan of this team? I love this team. I love watching my Cowboys play. But something that I learned, especially what happened last game, because I couldn't sleep. My anxiety was really bad after that game. But the thing that I learned was that it's football. It's a sport. It's all about, like, as much as a lot of us take it seriously, it's fun. It's a hobby. I love watching my team play. But I'm not going to let certain things damper my mood, because you might be Space. People are going to say, you're lowering the bar now. I want to enjoy my team play. I don't want to go into a Sunday where, and I started doing this year. I let it get the best of me this week. I let every Sunday, or every time our Cowboys played, I just had fun watching my team play. And I wish I wish that a lot of us had that same mentality, because I don't want to, as a fan, I feel like it would, like, I don't want to go into every year where I'm bitching about we need to scrap the team all over again. Because ultimately, I'm just here to watch my team play and have fun. I love this team no matter if this team was 0-16, I would not give a damn. Sure, I'd be upset. But, I enjoy watching my team play regardless of what the score is. And that's what it's all about. So just remember, guys, just remember where we were last year. And let's have fun. If we lose, it sucks. And I don't want this to be feeling like, oh, Space, you're giving up. I'm not giving up. I have faith in my team to do things, to win games. And if they don't, oh well. So I guess you could count this as the season finale video of 2021. Cowboys are in the playoffs. They're probably going to be playing the wild card round, but ultimately, and I will end you with this. Let's just watch for fun. Whatever happens, happens. If we don't win it all this year, okay. And you might be saying, if you want to tell me that I'm being fake, if you want to tell me that I am just conceding, I don't care. I'm here to watch my team. I'm here to have fun. And I'm not going to let no one take that away from me. If you guys that are out there, not you watching, but those that are out there complaining about every aspect of the team every single fucking week, go ahead. I don't care. But I'm not one of those people. I'll voice my frustrations with the team. But ultimately, and again, I know I was, there were moments where I felt pissed off, and that's the inner fan of me, but I got to work on it. And I'm doing a lot better this year. I know that winning is one thing, but I kind of had it, last year. I watch my team for fun. Whatever happens, happens. And that's ultimately where it is. I'm not going to complain what happens. So I'll leave you with that. Thank you guys so much for reaching the end of this video. Let's have fun for the remainder of the season. Let's see what happens. And go Cowboys. So I hope you guys have a great rest of your night. Have a good one. Bye-bye.